Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Infernape, and this is my team builder and battle for week 3 of season 2 of the CPC D League. So this week I'm going up against Shy, coach of the Minnesota Mimkyus. So if you have not seen my week 2 or week 1 battle, you can check those out. I might leave the link to both down below, or I'll probably just link a playlist down below, just so that you guys can see that, because I'll probably make a playlist for my CPC D League videos now, since I've got quite a few now. So, if you've not seen the battles, or if you have seen the battles, or you don't care about spoilers, then I will let you guys know that I am 2-0 right now, which is pretty cool. Off to a good start. So I'm hoping to keep it going, get another win here, and I don't want to take my foot off of the gas here. I want to keep it going and keep juicing out more wins. It sounded odd. But, yeah, so let me just read off his team. So my team is this here with Lando and Wobbuffet and Steelix and all these mons here. So this team here has got the Mimikyus, Suicune, Infernape, Delmice, Alakazam, Xurkitree, Alola, Ninetales, Rapunier, Vullaby, Fortress, and Shelgon. So his users are support, Xurkitree, and offensive Rapunier. So this is kind of the order I expect them to come. So he's got Mega King, which is annoying, and threat. Seismic Toss is banned, thankfully, so that is cool. It's a little less scary, but still it's annoying and can hit pretty hard and gets good coverage, and it's pretty fat and it's got good speed, and it definitely makes sense why this thing was or is Uber's, and I mean it makes sense that it's allowed in League though, because it's not broken in League, I don't think, but it is very good. It's very annoying. And you do have to make a check on your team because it's just annoying, but I mean you just slap a Rocky Helmet onto something that helps deal with it, but still it's annoying. And it gets, decent special coverage and viable enough special coverage and a special attack stat to be able to make it function, especially in the matchup, because I have Lando and Scizor, and he can just carry special coverage to deal with those mons, so that means he can be mixed, or maybe probably mixed, not fully special, but still he can be mixed, which makes them a little more annoying to deal with. But I do have some checks and ways to deal with it. Suicune's just fat and checks Lando and Houndoom and stuff. Infernape could be scarfed. It is kind of annoying to Houndoom. It can weak down Feeny, and if Feeny's low enough, it can be really scary. Delmice can be a nice spinner. Decent-ish check to Lando, Z-Fly's a thing, but it can at least take Earthquakes and stop EQ spam. Alakazam's scary, especially with a Sash. It outspeeds my whole team, which is, a little threatening. I do have some ways of dealing with him getting chip damage to break his Sash, but it's still annoying, and having that guaranteed focus Sash with Magic Guard is difficult to deal with. Xurkitree could be spooky, because especially with the Electric Drain or the Hypnosis, it's really scary, and then possibly with Tail Glow too, it's, quite a threat. Alola Ninetales can get up screens, Rapunier, especially with a Z Crystal, could be a pretty scary Rock Polish sweeper. Vullaby is kind of fat and annoying. My team didn't have the best ways to break Mandibuzz a couple weeks ago, so I mean, this thing's the same type. It's fatter. I don't think it's quite as fat, just because Mandibuzz has pretty high defenses, but still can take hits pretty well, and it's pretty annoying. So it could come, because it has a decent matchup, since, I have trouble dealing with Mandibuzz, and I have trouble dealing with Vullaby. Not quite as much, because it's not as fat, but still, it's annoying. Fortress can spin and hazard and stuff, but I have a lot of fire coverage and a lot of ways to deal with it, so I don't totally expect it. Shelgon's cool, but it doesn't really have a purpose, so I don't think it's going to come. But yeah, let me go over my team. So, first off, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Wobbuffet. So, this guy right here is pretty cool, pretty fun. So, Encore, Counter, Mirror Coat, and Safeguard, you're not going to see the moves vary a whole lot. It doesn't get many moves. This is it. But Encore, we can lock things into whatever, maybe like Suicune into Calm Mind, Ninetales into, I don't know, like Encore, and stuff, and Kangaskhan we can lock in maybe Sub or Wish or something. It's just nice to lock things into stuff in case if they try to do any shenanigans versus me. Counter, Mirror Coat, it's pretty self-explanatory. It does the job there, you get the purpose. Safeguard is meant to pair with something later on the team. You'll see what that is for a little later. I'll go over that when that Pokemon comes up. I could have carried Destiny Bond, and I thought about it, but I actually kind of like Safeguard just for my win condition, which I'll go over when I get there. The speed is just to creep Delmice and then like a little more, because if I can get off like a Safeguard and then have that thing knock me out, that'd be cool. Or maybe just Encore that thing into Rapid Spin or into anything that wouldn't knock me out would be pretty ideal. Because if I can knock that thing, even just lock it into like Shadow Claw or Power Rep, then I can bring in my Scizor and set up there. So it's pretty nice. Then just a little bit of speed def. I think the defense, so I don't get 2 KO'd by Mega Kangaskhan's return after I take rocks, I want to say. Then a little bit of speed def, and then the speed for Delmice. Next we got my Dragology here holding the Assault Vest. So just 4 attacks because I'm invested, you know. Impact Fire, Surf, Sludge Bomb, Draco Meteor. So Sludge Bomb hits pretty much everything, barring Braviaries and Fortress, which I can hit with Surf and Impact Fire respectively. And then Draco is just nice. It's really powerful. It allows me to hit Suicune for some more damage, or King if I need to, which is nice. SPF is so, I think I can live a +3 hit power ice from circuitry after I take rocks, which is really cool. A bit of speed just to creep Braviaries just in case if that thing wants to creep me, or any of his base 40s, because he also has Fortress and Delmice there too. But yeah, this thing's just really nice. It's a good check to circuitry if that comes, and it can also just chew any special hit, like even from Suicune, it chews Ice Beams, like that does not even 20%. From a non-infested Suicune, it loves taking Ice Beams. It's a nice little snack. So that's pretty cool. Dragology is just a nice bulky mod in this game. Hits still pretty hard, even though I'm not modest. Still hits pretty hard. Next you got my Mega Houndoom. So Dark Pulse, Sucker Punch, Impact Water, Flamethrower. So enough speed for Ape. Or actually no, probably for Ninetales. Yeah, for Ninetales. So just dual stab hits pretty much yeah, kind of almost everything. Impact Water allows me to hit Ape, which can take both my dual stabs pretty well. Impact Water does significantly more. Sucker Punch is meant for mainly Alakazam to at least break its sash, or if its sash is already broken, I can knock that thing out most likely. Or Sucker Punch can also be for like Xerxes if it's at +1, or Scarfed, or like Scarf Ape, or if Ape's gonna go for Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave or something, I can hit that thing first. Or Sucker Punch, which could help me put it in range of my Scizor, which I will get into next. Impact Water also allows me to hit Braviaries too, which could be helpful. So then we got my Scizor here. So Sword Stance, Bullet Punch, Bug Bite, and Natural Gift. So this thing's my win con here. The idea is to set up, get a +2, which should be all I need, and probably will be all that I have the chance to get, but I can set up on a lot of things with my Aquaberry here. So Natural Gift seems kind of weird. Originally I was Natural Gift Electric with the Berry, not Blue, but Belu, which allows me to hit Suicune, which is cool, but I mean, +2 Bug Bite does a lot anyways. I think I'd knock off Virgin over Bug Bite, but I put Bug Bite in that slot, and then I didn't really need Natural Gift Electric, because I can weaken down Suicune with like my Feeny, with my Lando, with my Houndoom. I don't need to be able to nearly Oko Suicune with Scizor. So Natural Gift is weird because with this berry, I can either eat it and that'll give me a chance to set up, or I can use it for Natural Gift, which I guess allows me to hit Fortress. It's it's Natural Gift Fire, which is nice for that. It's not really intended for that, and I can also Delmice harder than Bug Bite, which again, it's not really meant for that. I mean, I guess if I need to use it offensively, that's what the Aquaberry with Natural Gift is meant for, but the Aquaberry is just more so meant so I can set up on a lot more things, like on Mega King, most likely, and then like on anything that wants Scary Fire covers, like Braviaries, Alakazam, Shelgon, Suicune, and the off chance it carries Impact Fire, which it probably doesn't. Ninetales, I can set up on that too. So, you know, this just allows me to set up on a lot more things. Enough speed for no speed Suicune. So, I mean, I could carry Knockoff in this slot, but I feel like in case if I don't need to eat my Akka, which I might not if I set up for something like Suicune or Delmice or Alakazam if he does not have Impact Fire, or anything else that won't be breaking my Akka, then having it could be helpful, and I don't think I need any other move. Maybe U-Turn, maybe Roost, maybe Knockoff could be helpful, but I feel like Natural Gift Fire is the best, just in case if I need it. Next we got my Lando, so Yachier with EQ, Knockoff, Stealth Rocks, and Stone Edge. Enough speed for Xerxes, I'm assuming, you know, looks like, maybe Suicune. Probably Circuitry. Yeah, enough speed for that, just so I can outspeed that. Yachi allows me to check that thing, so if it's a Tailglow variant and does not have a +1 speed from the Electric Terrain, which it's going to have a difficult job setting up both, so probably one of both. But even then I can take a Empower Ice, which is nice, and then EQ, Knockoff, Stone Edge, hits pretty much everything. This thing is pretty nice as his only ways of getting rid of hazards, he has Delmice, Fortress, and Volibee. And with Delmice and Volibee, this thing can pressure them and either beat them or get them really low, because I can knock off the item on Volibee and Delmice, and then that will do a lot. Or, I mean, knock off not too much to Volibee, but then Stone Edge will be doing a lot. And then Fortress I can still weaken down with Earthquake and still set up my rocks, and he's not going to be able to do too much to me. I mean, if he's not at -1, then Gyro might be doing a good chunk, especially because I'm pretty speedy. but still, I can bring in my, like Houndoom or maybe Dragology or Scizor or even Wild Effect on that, so it's not a big deal. But I don't really expect Fortress either, too. So the defense is so I can live, I think Ice Punch from Kang or something. I think. I want to say that. I'm not. Maybe from E. I honestly forget what the defense is for. I think something with Kang with Ice. No. It was for Delmice, so I do not get 2KO'd by a Shadow Claw from an Adamant Max Attack non-item boosting Delmice, so like a Soul Fast Delmice. I can take 2 Shadow Claws. I think it was take 2 Shadow Claws after Rocks, or take 2 Power Whips without Rocks. I think it was so it can take 2 Shadow Claws with Rocks up, I believe. But yeah, that's Lando. Then next we got my Specs Feeny, which seems kind of weird, but it's pretty nice. So Ice Beam, Moonblast, Hidden Power Steel, and Defog. Hidden Power Steel for the Alola Ninetales, Defog, just in case if I need it. Probably not, because he doesn't have too many hazards on his side. I mean, if Fortress gets annoying, maybe I need Defog, but I want to get up my Rocks, and I don't want to have to get rid of them. Ice Beam and Moonblast is all I really need. I don't need Surf. I mean, it hits 8 a little harder, sure, and Rhyperior too, but I mean, Moonblast is just so easy to quick versus his team. His only thing that is a resist is his Fortress, which I don't expect to come, and even then, I think it's 2KO'd by Moonblast anyways, or nearly 2KO'd, so not the best switch in. And I also could carry Hidden Power Fire for that too, so it's not the safest switch in either, so Moonblast is just really nice versus his team. It can either 2KO or I think it 2KOs Suicune most likely if he's max defense, max HP. If he's holding leftovers, I think it's most likely 2KO, but not guaranteed. But for Rocks, it's guaranteed 2KO. So that's really nice. And then the speed is for Adamant. No, it's for Xurkitree if he's creeping my Scizor, I think. Also, I have 64 EVs left over. I'm not certain if I still did. I might have. Well, I'm looking at the team I just sent. Yeah, okay, I think I forgot to put these 64 EVs back into somewhere. Okay, well, that's silly. I already did the game. Okay, that's pretty silly. It didn't come into play, but that's very silly of me. I'll leave it here. I'm not going to put them anywhere. I didn't put them anywhere in the game. There's no point doing it now. So, that is the team there. It's pretty cool. Bringing Wild Threat for the first time. I'm excited. And I will see you guys in just a second with the battle. Alright guys, so I'm back with the battle as you can see here. So, I'm bringing these 6 that I just went over, being my Wild Effect, Dragology, Mega Houndoom, Scizor, Lender's T, and my Tapu Fini, while my opponent brings kind of what I expect. Does not bring Delmice and does not bring Xurkitree, and he instead brings the Alola Ninetales and the Volibee in those 2 slots, but then he also brings Inferno, Mega Kang, Zam, and Suicune, which I expected. So, my lead right here, so I could lead Fini, which is actually pretty safe versus his team. I thought about it, but I thought he might lead Ninetales and then want to just set up his screens or freeze dry and get off some good damage. And just like he didn't bring his Electric type or his Grass type, so Fini was still a pretty good lead. But I ended up leading with Houndoom, thinking he would want to lead Ninetales, and so I just started the battle. So I lead Houndoom as he leads 8, which is a little annoying for me because I thought he would lead Ninetales. I mean, it makes some sense why he led 8, because you'll see what he does turn 1. But I thought, if I lead Fini and he just leads 8, then that'd be bad for him. So I don't know. I don't know. I still kind of think Mega Houndoom. It makes sense why I led it. Fini was still probably the safest lead overall, but it's whatever. So I'm not gonna stand because I can just die to a CC here. So I'm just gonna go right in on Wild Type. He's probably gonna click U-turn as he does. So he does a chunk here, and he takes the rock damage, which is good. So this damage shows he's probably Scarfed, could just be Max Attack Jolly. Not certain yet on his set. Could be a little bit tough to tell. So he ends up bringing in his Kangaskhan here, now he's dropped in obviously because Shadow Attack. So I mean I could switch, but then this is kind of like switching into Kangs. So this is kind of weird. So I figure he's not just gonna click Return or Crunch here because then he'll take helmet damage and then he'll just die to counter. Like that just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for him to click a physical move that do a lot here. So I'm gonna click Encore, predicting him to either sub or maybe go for like some special attack here. But I feel like Encore makes a lot of sense because he would bring this thing in, to do something else besides just click a physical move, like especially sub or something could make sense. So I'm gonna click Encore, as he does click Ice Beam, which doesn't do much, thankfully no freeze. So I click Encore and he's locked into that. So I can freely switch into a lot of things here. Maybe Feeny, maybe Houndoom, maybe Scizor, but I want to keep Scizor healthy. Maybe, I mean, Dragology can still chew Ice Beams, but I go into my Feeny, which makes the most sense here, as it can chew Ice Beams, and he does not even have a chance to freeze because of the train. So I get off a very free Specs Moonblast here, as he goes right into his Ninetales, and I'm just gonna actually crit him and knock him out. So the crit didn't matter, he would live the Moonblast otherwise. So that is unfortunate for him. Now, I would have been able to knock him out the following turn. It would have done like 70 to 80. Even if he set up the screen, I would have been able to knock him out. Or I guess, yeah, no, I definitely would have been able to knock him out. He did like 70 to 80. I don't think he had a super bulky set. Let me double check. Sorry. His set wasn't super bulky, was it? No, he had like 28 HP. So, yeah, no, I would have been able to kill him even if he set up the screen the following turn. I offered to start over, he didn't want to, which means fine. So, this is pretty good for me. So, he can bring in whatever here, like, nothing can really check me immediately, which is good for me. Maybe he can bring in Zam, in which case I can maybe go into WoW, or maybe Houndoom. He can bring in Suicune, but I can still do WoW with Moonblast. He can bring in Ape or Kangaskhan, as he does bring in Suicune, so that's fine with me, as I can just go for Moonblast and do around half, and possibly just 2k this thing. So, he just scouts there with the Protect, which I guess makes some sense, just to chip me down a little bit, but that's whatever. So, I'm just going to click Moonblast again. I do a little under half, as he's going to click Mirror Coat, and that was pretty cool tech. So, down goes Feeny, but I mean, that's okay though, because I got off damage, so it's weakened for Scizor, which is what I need. It is in range of a +2 Bug Bite now, which is awesome. So, that's all I really needed. And also, he was no speed on this Suicune, which, I mean, I didn't know at the time. But my Scizor would have outsped the Suicune then, which is awesome. I mean, it doesn't come into play, I don't think. But just, sorry, let me mute my Discord notifications. Sorry, just a sec. But it was just nice to get off the damage regardless, so I didn't mind too much losing my Feeny right here. So I'm gonna bring in my Mega Houndoom actually, just so more Houndoom. Yeah. Now I mean with this team I didn't really have anything to immediately check and pressure the Suicune too much, because like I could have brought in Lando and I could have lived in one hit because I was Yashi, so I could live an Ice Beam. But I want to bring in Houndoom because I can just Dark Pulse and possibly 2k him. Or if he wants to bring in Ape, I get off damage on that. And I don't need Houndoom too much for anything, like with no Delmice here too, but I don't really need it. And I mean with Ninetales gone too, I don't need it. And even then I can still have one Scald and I think 2k this thing. If I don't kill, then he'll be really low. So I'm gonna Mega, he does stay in, I click Dark Pulse to do around half. As he clicks Scald, and I do live no burn because I'm a fire type, and terrain's up too. So, whatever. I mean, he can't burn anyways, but, he didn't get the burn, so, cool. So Dark Pulse, it did 28 there. It was a roll, I think. What was this set? Sorry, I mean, I have it here. I have his whole team here, so I might as well just look. He was pretty bulky, so I'm not certain what the roll was, but if it was some kind of roll to knock him out here, so I'm just going to go for Dark Pulse again. I figure he might just sack this thing off and try to knock me out with Scald if he does live. Or he might go into Volibee, as he does right into Volibee, which is fine. I can Dark Pulse and do a little bit. He'll take Hail. Or no, he won't, because he's not. Because Hail ends, right. So I'm going to stay in and click Flamethrower, because I figure if he wants to click Brave Bird here, then he'll be pretty low. This Flamethrower is going to be doing a good chunk, and then he'll have to knock me out with Brave Bird and take some damage from that. Or if he clicks Foul Play or Knock Off or U-Turn, I can live that. So I click Flamethrower, as he does click U-Turn here, so I can live that. And this thing's pretty low, so it's not going to do too much more. As he brings an 8, which is annoying, but I mean, that was the right play. That makes sense. So here, I know he can click U-Turn again, so I get right into my Lando instead of Wobbuffet this time. I could have gone to Wob again to get more damage. And maybe that wasn't a play, but I figured Lando can start to pressure his team and do some things, and I have my Yashi anyway, so I can take me one hit from anything pretty much. Yeah, I can actually live any hit at this point, so that's nice. Maybe I could have gone to Wob just to get more damage, but I still wanted to keep Wob healthy, so if I can make this thing take even more damage later from Wob, or maybe make King take damage, because King's not yet in range, and that could be nice. So, he ends up U-turning, as I thought he would. As he's going to bring in his Kangaskhan. So, from earlier we saw that he had Ice Beam. Looked like he had no special attack, and was like Hasty, or Naive, or just any not special attack lowering nature. So, Earthquake, I think will 2-KO him. It depends on the set, and it'll come down to some rolls, but it does in round half. So I can live any 1 hit here, or I guess I need 2 because Sprinkle Bomb. But I can live Ice Beam here. Ice Punch I think might knock me out, it was a roll. But Ice Beam, I can live from this range. So he actually goes for Fire Blast, he gets predicting Scizor. Which I mean makes sense because I could have just switched out with Ice Beam, but I didn't need to switch out, I wanted damage on this. So I stay in, live that, EQ does it around half. So if I get the same roll, I would be able to knock him out with EQ. So I'm going to stay in, I should be able to live an Ice Beam from this range because Fire Blast didn't do too much. As he goes for Ice Beam in, he actually crits the first one, which is unfortunate, as then the next Ice Beam is going to knock me out. If he did not crit the first one, I would have lived, which is unfortunate. Now, I mean, this kind of makes up for the crit I got earlier on him. So it's kind of even. They both could have, you know, definitely changed some things if they didn't happen, but I think it's kind of even-ish. Depends on how you want to look at it, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it happened, so I can't change it. So, I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, so I bring in Houndoom, so I'm not sure what his nature is. If he's minus the death, so naive or something, then most likely Dark Pulse will knock him out, it looks like. If he's not minus the death and he's like hasty or anything else, then I probably won't kill him, but I'm gonna have to bring in Houndoom and hope the Dark Pulse will knock him out. I don't Fire Blast because Fire Blast is bad and misses, and I mean, you know, whatever. So I ended up bringing in Mega Houndoom because I didn't, because Scizor I didn't want to set up too early because I can't kill Infernape yet. And then Dragalge didn't want taking damage, and then Wob. I could have brought in Wob to get some damage on this, but I want damage on 8, so I want to keep Wob around. And I mean, actually, I could have brought in a Wob and lived a hit, but I mean, it would be a 50-50 as to whether we go for Ice Beam or Return or something. So I don't know, but I feel like Doom was the safest play, as I can maybe pressure him out because he might be fearing. Actually, no, he already saw Flamethrower, so probably not fearing Fire Blast, but still, he might think that it could knock him out here. So I'm just going to go for a Dark Pulse, since he does go right into Volbeat and does just sack this thing off. So Dark Pulse is going to be able to 2KO him. I just click him by Water here, just in case he wants to go an 8, which he could. So I figured I'll try, but I mean, it doesn't matter. As now he brings an 8, so I'm going to go right in my Wild Effect just to make him take some more damage as he U-turns most likely. He ends up clicking Vacuum Wave, so if he's locked into that, which previously I thought he was Scarfed. Now, this is a little weird, is that makes him seem like he's especially invested, but that U-turn still did a good chunk, so I'm not quite certain on his spread yet. I'm thinking he's not Scarfed here, but if he's Scarfed, that would be amazing since he's locking Vacuum Wave and does nothing, and that'd be great. So he ends up clicking U-turn, as I click Mirror Coat thinking that he would click a fire move here, like Flamethrower or something, a Fire Blast. So I thought I could catch him there. He ends up going into King on the U-turn, so that's a little annoying because then I don't do any damage. But that doesn't really matter a whole lot. I'm just gonna sack this thing off. I don't want anything else taking damage or just dying, so I'm just gonna sack this thing off, make him take damage from my helmet. I click Mirror Coat just in case if you want to click Ice Beam, which I could live. But yeah, he ends up having to hit me twice, which doesn't really matter as either way, Houndoom knocks him out with Dark Pulse, even if he only took 1 hit. So it is 3-3 now. It's a very close game. So this turn is very big. So this is a 50-50 right here. So he could, well, kind of a 50-50. He has potentially multiple plays depending on what moves he has. I'm not certain what moves he has, because we've seen Vacuum Wave and U-turn. I'm assuming he'd have to have a Fire move for Scizor, right? And then probably Empire Ice for Lando, but maybe EQ for Dragalge, maybe Thunder Wave or Thunder Punch or Gunk Shot for Feeny, maybe something else for anything else on my team. But so here I do Sucker Punch, which will be able to out-prioritize him. As we saw, he's not Scarfed because he switched on moves earlier. So I could click Sucker Punch, get off some damage, and Sucker Punch plus a +2 Bullet Punch from Scizor has a chance to knock this thing out, but it isn't great. So I didn't want to go for that if I didn't have to, because if I got a little more damage on him, I mean, yeah, he took damage from Rock Helmet, so that wasn't even a damage roll. But if he was a little lower, then I would be able to click Sucker Punch, probably. Yeah, I would click Sucker, because then he would be in range of +2 Bullet Punch, but he's not guaranteed in range of Sucker plus a +2 Bullet Punch. So I'm going to actually switch into my Dragalge here. Now, let me wait for this to happen. So I switch into this as he clicks U-turn, which is annoying. So you end up winning the 50-50, which is good for him, unfortunate for me. So if I stayed in, I mean, I would not have, I don't think Sucker Punch was my play though, because it wasn't guaranteed for a +2 Bullet Punch to knock him out after. So I think my play was to click Hidden Power Water, if I did want to stay in. because I could potentially knock that thing out. It wasn't a super high roll, but if I did not knock him out with Empire Water, I actually had a decent chance to live the U-turn there. So if I either knocked him out or lived the hit from him, then I could knock him out with Sucker Punch the following turn. So that would be good. And then I could just potentially win with Houndoom right there, because Sucker Punch probably knocks out Mega out, or knocks out normal Alakazam. It was almost guaranteed. It actually wasn't sashed. Sorry, spoilers. But and then I could also knock out Suicune with a Dark Pulse from that range. Actually, well, it was a roll, but then still I could have brought in something else to knock him out. So I could have just won there potentially, depending on rolls, if I did stay in on the U-turn. But I don't know. I had some reason. I had good logic for not wanting to stay in. But I feel like if I won that 50-50 by staying in with Houndoom, I gain more than I lose from staying in, and if I lose a 50-50, so maybe I should have made the play and stayed in hindsight, but I mean, then I could have brought in this thing and then just threaten his ape out, but I don't know. So, right, okay, also one thing I was just kind of blank there. One thing that kind of made me hesitant to switching to this, even though I did, was he could have potentially, he would have 2-killed me with Earthquake if he had it, which he did not have Earthquake, which makes sense, because we'll see later his third move, and then his fourth move is Empire Ice, which makes sense, because I have Lando. But he brings in Zam, so here I'm fearing Psychic move. Now, if he goes for Psychic, that would not knock me out, because I'm Assault Vest, I'm fat, and whatnot, but I would figure he'd have Psyshock, which most likely knocks me out, because, I mean, Psyshock makes sense. I have, you know, and that mon has a lot higher speed depth than physical defense, so it makes sense to carry Psyshock from my Dragalge. So here, I'm going to go right hard in my Houndoom, and if I catch him on a Psychic move, probably Psyshock, then I can Sucker Punch the following turn, break his Sash, which I assume he has, and then Bullet Punch from Scizor will be able to knock him out, because that was also one thing that I was worried about, and one reason I could not set up earlier was because I was fearing a Sash on this thing, as he actually ends up clicking Focus Blast for me, against me, which really sucks. So he wins a 50-50. Just, again, pretty unfortunate. He wins two 50-50s in a row, which really blows for me. I mean, he predicted me, so, like, I guess I understand why he made the play, but I don't know, I just thought he'd have to click Psychic move against me. But, I mean, he ended up having Psychic, not Psyshock, so it makes a little more sense, because he wouldn't have been able to knock me out anyways, but, I mean, he didn't know my set yet, so. But, I don't know, maybe I could have stayed in and then gotten off damage, but I would not have been able to knock him out, anyways. Or at least, I thought he was sashed. We'll see later, he's actually not sashed. But my play is bringing in Scizor right here. I'm just going with Bug Bite. I can live any one hit, I can live a Focus Blast, I can live a Power Fire, and Bug Bite would knock this thing out or bring it down to its Sash, and then Bullet Punch knock him out. So I'm just going to click Bug Bite as he goes right into Suicune, as Bug Bite's just going to knock that thing out. So in comes the Infernape, obviously. So another 50-50 here. So, you already saw what happened. Whoops. So my play here is either stay in predicting the U-turn or switch out predicting Fire Blast or any other fire move. So I'm going to stay in thinking he's going to want to click U-turn. He's been U-turning all game over me. So I thought that would be his play. And I don't know, it kind of makes, so he actually does click Fire Blast and lands it because he's lucky and bad. And then it was not a roll, I was going to die anyways. It did like a lot. So by Scizor, even with Yaka, I die. So I could have switched out there on the Fire Blast, but I thought he'd click U-turn, so I don't want to switch out and then have him bring in Zam, and then knock him out with Psyshock, and then Scizor can knock out Zam, and then Ape just beat Scizor. Because, I don't know, I thought he'd click U-turn again, and I don't know, it's a 50-50, but it makes, I think in hindsight, it makes sense why he clicked Fire Blast. I think Fire Blast was kind of a better play over U-turn. At the time, I thought U-turn was a better play, but I feel like Fire Blast actually kind of makes more sense, because well, I'll just explain it in a second once we get through the rest of the game. So he clicks Empire Ice, does like nothing. Sledge Bomb knocks it out. So he brings in his Zam. So here, I mean, at this point, once I lost a 50-50, I figured the game's over, whatever. So I just click Sledge Bomb. I can live, if he has Psychic, I can actually live a hit, and then can get off some damage versus him. But I mean, if he's Sash, it doesn't matter what I do. So he does click Psychic, and that damage shows that he's Life Orb. So I click Sledge Bomb, which doesn't knock him out because it wasn't going to. And he knocked him out with Psychic. So I should have actually clicked Draco there. Kind of a misplay. Potentially a choke, potentially. Because that damage showed that he was Life Orb, which I don't get why Sash Zam is the best Zam. It's a free and guaranteed Sash. I don't understand why Life Orb Zam is ever better, but whatever. Because like, you know, 2 hits, 2 non-boosted hits is better than 1 hit of 1.3 damage, but whatever. So I could have lived the Psychic, which I did, and then Draco was a roll to knock him out. I think it was like a 37% chance to kill him, which is not great, and then also you have to account for the chance that I missed too, which was 10%, so overall it still wasn't in my favor to land and knock him out with Draco, so in that regard I wouldn't call it a choke, but I still should have clicked Draco to give me a chance there. But as I said a couple turns ago, so I think Fire Blast actually was probably his best play, because if I do switch into Dragology there, then he can click U-turn the following turn, and then as I click Sludge Bomb as he goes into Zam, and then Zam, so it would live a Sludge Bomb, and then it would be able to go for Psychic, and my Dragology would die to, my Dragology would be able to live a Psychic and be able to knock him out with Sludge Bomb, but then Ape can just come in, knock out this with Fire Ice, and then knock out Scizor with Fire move, so that makes sense in that regard. Now, I think if I like Draco, as he switched into Alakazam and I got the roll to knock him out, then I could have won, because then I would have been then I would have still had this thing healthy, then would have been able to, I guess, 2KO the Ape, which, yeah, I would have just stayed in, just 2KO the Ape. So, if I got the roll, I might have played Draco in that case then, just, I don't know, but it doesn't matter, because, I mean, he played Fire Blast and knocked out Scizor anyways, but it really sucks a 50-50 versus, oh, but, whoops, I didn't mean to reset, sorry. But turn over he was like 18 something. Yeah, no, next, sorry. It was this turn. So, this was a big turn too. If I stayed in and clicked Hidden Power Water, then it, I think, was pretty much guaranteed for me to win, because then this thing was really low and was in range of Bullet Punch. That is if I didn't knock him out with Hidden Power Water, or, I mean, if I didn't knock him out with Hidden Power Water, and then, I mean, I guess either way, if I died to U-turn or not, then he would still be around, but he would be very, very low to where Bullet Punch from Scizor could knock him out. And then Zam was not sashed, so it could have just knocked him out with a Bug Bite, and then my Scizor did outspeed his Suicune and could have just knocked that thing out with a Bug Bite too. So, if I just got the damage on Ape here with Hidden Power Water, then my Scizor could have actually just won, so maybe I should have thought of it like that, but I decided to click U-turn here, so I lost that 50-50, then the one this turn, I lose this 50-50. And now, this one wasn't, I don't know if it guaranteed that I would have won if I won the 50-50, but I think there's a very good chance, because I could have lived, if he clicked Focus Blast, if I stayed in on the Focus Blast, or even on the Psychic, then I could live the hit from this, and then Sludge Bomb would put him in range of a Bullet Punch from Scizor. So then I would have been able, the following turn up would have probably gone into Houndoom, as I think he'd have to click Psychic the following turn, especially if he clicked Focus Blast this turn, which he did. So then I could just probably knock him out with Sucker Punch, and then he could come in, and I could sack off Doom and bring in Dragology and just win. That's kind of best case scenario, depending on how that works out after the 50-50, but I still think I would have been able to win if I won this 50-50 or the one the prior turn. The one at the end, I don't think was guaranteed. I don't think if I won the 50-50, I would have won the game, but I think it gave me a chance. But that's Pokemon for you, the string of 50-50s that I just needed to win one of, at least the first two. The last one I don't think really was the same thing, but still, it's unfortunate that I lost my 50-50s. The crits, they happened, they were kind of even, so I don't know. I don't want to think of, that's like a lot of theory mining and a lot of thought to think about if like that those crits really mattered and which crit mattered more, and I'm just going to say they're even just for simplicity. But we're 2-1, which, it's unfortunate. I would like to be 3-0 and keep my undefeated streak going, but it is what it is. Next week, who do we play? Let me check. I don't know. I'll check now. But I'm 2-1, and I have +6 differential though, which is still good though for 2-1. We play the Oakland Rosy Raiders. Ooh, that's L5, something cool. So playing him next week, that should be fun, I think. Probably, I don't know. He seems cool. So I'll see you guys then, battle next week, next Tuesday, and yeah, see you then.